Hi guys and welcome back. It's Chris here with another video for you, and as the title said, on this week's video we're going to be looking at root application. Now you probably think you're really good at root application, you do it every day, and that's fine, but if you're having some problems with depth, longevity and coverage, I've got a few tips that are going to help you out. Now as always, if you're liking what you see, please leave a comment below, hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell for notifications. It'd be great to get the channel growing and I need your support to do it. So let's get to the tips. Okay, so let's also now look at where we're going to start to apply our colour. So if your client has a particularly resistant area around the front or the back, it's obvious again to apply that colour around the resistant area first, so that it has the longest processing time to absorb in. So most people, again, down their parting and around the front of their face, that's where they're resistant, or that's where they're most grey. So that's really where you want to start. So again, my first suggestion would be to go all around your hairline and down your parting as your starting point. Okay, so I've got my colour mixed up and I'm going to start to apply it now to the root. Here's the second thing that people tend to do. I see hairdressers doing what I call the sweep. So they're going to place the colour on the root, and they place it on the root and then they start to brush the colour multiple times. So you may think that you're blending it in, but what tends to end up happening is you actually remove the amount of colour that you've put on the hair, or you push that colour further up the hair so it's no longer on the root area. So when you're applying the root colour, don't do the sweep. Load your brush up with plenty of colour, put it onto the root, and if you need to do a couple just to make sure that it blends into the hair, that's fine. But then reload the brush and again reapply to the root area. And this is what I mean by applying enough colour to the hair. This seems like a lot of colour, but trust me, this will all get soaked in, and what isn't used, it doesn't matter. Now when you're taking your next section, what you really want to see as you take in the next section is you want to see the colour coming through your section. So I'll show you what I mean in a second once I've applied this side. So as we take our next section, if you take a section that's too big, you can see that the colour isn't quite coming through that section. So again, in the middle, you're not going to get the coverage. So just when you're taking the sections, just make sure that as you take the section, you can already see the colour coming through. And this will stop any spots not being covered by the colour. And it's actually, once you get going, people think that by taking large sections that it's going to speed up the process. Whereas actually, if you take small sections and you get the coverage, in the long run, it's a much quicker way of colouring the hair. So you can see I'm applying a nice lot of colour, I'm reloading my brush, I am doing a couple of strokes just to make sure that I get the coverage and blend it in, but there is a lot of colour going on the hair. Okay, so as you can see, the colour has been applied to the root. The other thing to avoid doing is to actually sort of pat the hair down too much. Okay, it can create heat pockets if you lay the hair too flat. So just gently raise it off the scalp, okay, just so that the air circulates all the way around the head. So now we've done our 45-minute processing time, we're obviously going to shampoo this off. Now, if I was refreshing these mid-lengths and ends, just again remember that the colour that we've applied to the root is for the root. So affinage, again, if you watch the other videos, it lifts for the first 30 minutes and then deposits in the last 15. The last 15 minutes is when generally hairdressers tend to pull that colour through. So really you're taking the colour off of the root when it is depositing for coverage and for vibrancy and for longevity. So the colour on the root is for the root. If I was going to refresh these mid-lengths and ends, I would be mixing up fresh colour, and I would be using a product called Converter. Now, Converter is the best product you are ever going to buy. Whether you use affinage or not, it is just genius. It converts permanent hair colour into a tone-on-tone colour. So there's deposit only, so there's no lift. So that means I can refresh these mid-lengths and ends without damaging the hair. It's a 1:2 mixing ratio, and you can leave it on 3 minutes up to 25 minutes. So what I would normally do is I would apply my root colour and I'd leave that for the 20 minutes. Then I'd mix up fresh colour with Converter, and after 20 minutes I would put the Converter through the mid-lengths and ends for 25 minutes, and there's my 45-minute processing time, so I could rinse the whole lot off together. I'm not going to do that on this occasion because I'm actually going to use Jennifer for another video, so I don't want any more colour on those ends because I don't then want to have to break through the colour. If you'd like to see a video on Converter and its many uses, then please comment below and I'd be happy to do another video. So we're going to go off and we're going to rinse this off now. Okay, so our colour's been rinsed off and I've just very quickly dried it. I put in a bit of the Mode Dream Cream here just to help me with the blow dry. And as you can see, I will get the camera in a bit closer. We've got a beautiful shine to the hair and we've got absolutely perfect coverage. So just follow the main rules regarding mixing the colour, which again, as I said, are in the video links below. And when you're applying the colour, make sure that you apply enough colour. Make sure that as you're taking the sections, you can see the colour coming through from the previous section. And also as well, put the colour on any resistant areas first so that they have the longest processing time. I hope these tips have helped. Please comment below, ask any questions, and again, if you like what I'm doing, please like, subscribe and hit the bell button. And I'll see you next week when we're going to